Okay. Hello everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. So yesterday was a bit of a shit show. A lot of things went wrong on the stream. So today I think what we'll do is just go over a few things that we did yesterday, things that I did wrong, and just make an effort to understand why those things went wrong. And then we'll move on to configuring the EVE-NG on this new install, and then I'll patch that in. I'll show how I patch that into the different to my different boxes. So one thing that I was reading last night, and I've seen it before, but GNS3 has this cluster mode, which is great. So you can have multiple boxes and you can connect them all together. But EVE-NG doesn't have that feature yet. So what you do is you have multiple EVE-NG instances and then you cable them all together. You can even trunk them together over Ethernet, or maybe just have a tunnel between them if they're separated by a big difference. I think the EVE-NG guys are developing a cluster mode, but that doesn't work just now. So yeah, for what I do is I get multiple hardware boxes and then connect them all together with just cables, and then trunk those cables. The last one I did was a little bit more funky. I used some Q&Q stuff so that I cut down the number of VLANs that I was dropping over these wires. But fundamentally, that's how it worked. So where were we? Right, I think probably the first step is to go over what went wrong yesterday. I think when I did the install initially, the SSD was loose, and that's why that didn't work out very well. So I took a lot of time trying to fix that. Second thing that went wrong was in the rush of the moment, I managed to format the USB boot drive that I was trying to install Ubuntu from. So that's why that failed. So advice to anyone out there: just make sure you got your SSD plugged in properly, and don't format the install media. All right, let me see if I can fire this up. Let's move this camera around here. So we've got the same setup as yesterday. Maybe I can just get this cable to stretch. Got these two NUCs. The bottom one's an ESXi, and I've got a version of EVE-NG running on that. Yikes. And then I've got this Mac Pro, and I'm going to plug that in and get that to that's also got a bare metal install of EVE-NG on it. So we're going to have two bare metal EVE-NGs and one ESXi, and then we're going to mesh them all together and get all that good stuff working. Let me give you a better view so you're not bored staring at me all the time. Let's see what we can do there. And what I'll bring devices into view as I'm cabling them up. So let me just get my Chrome window open. Not Chrome, in fact, let's open Safari, and then I'll add a new scene on this. Window capture Safari. All right, window Safari. Where are you? There it is. All right. Okay, so this is my Safari. What I'll do quickly, I'll just go to the old site, the new one that we built yesterday. So this is EVE-NG, so you can see that it's still running. Admin Eve was the default username and password. So it's the same as yesterday. I've not really touched it. Nothing new about that whatsoever. I'm going to then just connect to it with NUC. Let me then switch the view to NUC if I can. Let's get rid of Safari. Can I do that? Centered, 1 second. Okay. Hopefully that's readable. All right, home directory. So the install yesterday was 26. That's this one. So nothing's changed. That's where we were yesterday. Everything's installed, but there are no virtual machines, no instances running on this system just yet. And then I've got this Mac Pro. So we're going to plug that in. Wait, did you see the ZOC? I didn't seem to want to show on the screen. 1 second, let me redo that. seems to be using the desktop. Don't know why. Desktop's disabled. When I minimize that, that also goes. Interesting. Oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. All right, so we've got Zoc there. First time streaming. Well, second time, so give me a break on that one if you can. We've got this Mac Pro. It's not on just now, so I'm going to zip out of my seat, and then we're going to spin that around, and then we'll get some cables on the back of it, and then I'll show you how I've patched all that in. It would have been easier if I'd done a little network diagram, actually. That would have been probably a benefit to the demo. But it's not the end of the world, it's fine, it's fine. So, at the minute, there's nothing plugged into it whatsoever except the power supply. But on the back of the Mac Pro, you have two built-in ports, which you can use, and then I've got these two Thunderbolt to Ethernet adapters. So in total, I can have 4 Ethernet connections to this device. Now I can't remember how I configured this. It's been a few weeks since I powered it on, and I've ripped out all the cables since getting this ready for today. So bear with me while what we'll do, we'll boot it up, and that won't work. We'll boot it up, and then I'll try and connect to it. Hopefully that will work, and then from there we can see what networks are connected to what. So let me just patch this in. If I can find a cable long enough. Not long enough. Let's have a look. This is a super long one. Let's see. Super long cable. I'm going to patch that in. Hopefully this is port 0, although I'm not sure. Nope. What am I doing wrong here? What's the problem? There we go. Alright, let's just turn it on. So yeah, I've patched it into that port, and we're going to see, I'll try and connect to this then on the Zoc. The IP address should still be as it was last time I turned this on, so hopefully that will all work out. Let me pull up Zoc. In fact, let me pull up a terminal on the Mac, and then we'll try and ping it. Let me just add a window capture. This. All right. Okay. So. Let me just check what the IP address was of this thing. So it should be 20, not 20. 2.168.32.20. So we know we got it right when I can ping it. Nope, not that window. That one. Okay, ping 2.168.32.20. Okay, so no ping so far. I think it probably should have booted by now, so that's not a great start. Possibly in the wrong port. Let me just swap that out. There is a possibility that this is just a catastrophe waiting to happen, just like usual. There we go. All right, great. So we got a ping. Excellent. Let me pull these over to here. Okay. Let's get rid of the pings. Let's go on to the terminal now and try and connect to that Mac Pro. All right. So this is just an existing bare metal install of EVE-NG, but this machine has got some images on it. I just need to do some updates. I'm going to do that while we're thinking through the problems. Now, one thing that I wanted to do, could not get luck. All right, let's have a look. Get rid of that. Probably not the best idea. just booted it, so I don't know why it would say there's a running process. There's a DP. There's a what's the package force thing? Ubuntu dpkg fix or repair, something like that. Is it that one? Yeah, possibly. Oh, unlock the dpkg. Maybe that's what I need to do, and then we'll do the last one. Let's try this one. Nope. What was it? dpkg minus configure minus a. There we go. So let's just run the update, get that out of the way. I do have some images on here. I'm nervous to go in there. So what we'll do, first of all, I'll download the Cisco iOS ISO from Cisco, which you would normally use for the CML2 program, but I don't want to use that. So CML2 download. Let's see. Not that one. CML2 download. Where's the Cisco? It's that one. All right, so I'm just downloading the UML image. Which contains an ISO with all the latest Cisco images on it. Now, I'm not going to say how I feel about this. I don't know if it's right or wrong. If you look at David Bomble's podcasts or YouTube videos, you see that he seems to say there's no problem with this approach where you buy viral CML2 and you use the images of the purchased viral to load up your topology. So that's all I'm going to do. Once I've got this, once I know this is working, I'll flick the screen on so you can see what I'm doing. Internet's a bit slow today. All right, looks good. Let me just flick this on. OBS, Safari. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I've got this. So yeah, basically you buy CML or viral, and then when you get access to the system, you can download one or the other. The viral ISO or OVA is like the install for that program. That's old now, so no one really uses that. Although it has been updated, look at that, on the 17th of June, which is interesting. But CML Personal 2 is the new version. And one of those is an ISO. And in the ISO, you can load the ISO and then browse it. And inside the ISO, you've got all the virtual images for the routers and so on. So once you've bought it, you can download this. You don't need to run it inside the CML environment, I think, although David did say, so I'm taking his advice on it. Well, while that's downloading, let's maybe cable up some of the lab. What have we got? Let me, that's what I think, we're gonna have something to run in the background so you're not all bored stupid, watching nothing. Where's Zoc? Okay, well there's the Mac Pro. If you do an IP address, you'll see that there are, wait, let's do ifconfig. You'll see that there are a bunch of network interfaces. and Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1. If you remember yesterday, EVE-NG, when it's installed, it comes, but when you install Ubuntu Linux, it comes up with not random, but strange, unintuitive names for the Ethernet interfaces, and part of the EVE-NG install rationalizes those to something that you would get, so first Ethernet interface is 0, second Ethernet interface is 1, and so on. So on the Mac Pro, we've got 2 built-in interfaces. I'm now going to plug in these Thunderbolt cables, which will translate Thunderbolt 2 on the Mac Pro to Gig Ethernet. So let's plug those in, and then we should see some more interfaces on the Ubuntu here. So we had ETH1, ETH0, ETH1, now we've got ETH2 and ETH3, and you can see that they're different MAC addresses, so you can see the interfaces there. Now, what I'd like to do is hard cable from the Mac Pro to the new ETH box, and then we'll set up a cloud interface, and you'll see the bridge thing working. When you're inside Eve, it creates these PNet interfaces, so PNet 0, PNet 1, PNet 2, and these are related directly to the physical interfaces of the system. I think actually PNet 0 is like the default route, and I think PNet 1 may be like a cloud. We can check that out. In fact, let's pop that up now. Let's have a quick look. So in EVE-NG, interface configuration. Maybe I just want to download the cookbook. Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the cookbook and see what that says. But I think PNet 0 is like the routed interface. PNet 1 is like a natted interface. So within Eve, it'll do that for you. And let's just do a Control F PNet 0 and find that. Not found. I doubt that's true. I find that hard to believe. I'm sure that would show up. Let's find it. Let's try that again because I found that very hard to believe. Weird. Alright, anyway, let's go through this until we see it. So we're looking for the interface configuration. That's the licensing, so we knew. Okay, here we go. What's this? Professional, no. VNC, no. RDV, no. Default folder, shared. Come on. It's amazing how quickly I forget things at my age. Lab chat, no. Come on. What the hell's going on? Interconnecting nodes, maybe, no. Here we go. So clouds and networks, for bridge interface. We have to connect many nodes, blah, 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 add a bridge, blah, blah, blah. Net, bridge, connect your nodes. No, that's not it. NAT interface. So as an embedded NAT interface with subnet this, and it's connected to PNet 0. Okay, so PNet 0 is the NAT interface, it seems to be. Management Cloud 0. I thought that was PNet 0, strangely. Yeah, okay, so it is. So PNet 0 is the Cloud 0 interface. And then I think PNet 1, 2, 3 are the next. So PNet 0 is bridged. Okay, I'm glad I found this table now. This is more clear. So PNet 0 is bridged. So at the moment, this cable is the bridged management network cable. This is PNet 0. And then PNet 1, I think, uses the same interface, but NATs it. PNet 1. Oh, okay. My mistake. I wonder how so maybe there's a NAT interface. We'll find. Let's log into the. Let's log into here. This is the Mac Pro EVE-NG instance. This is just one of my running topologies. Let's add a new network, and it'll give me some options. So I've got Cloud 0, which is that Ethernet 0 interface. So cloud 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on must be physical interfaces. NAT, I assume then, is just an internal construct that uses cloud 0's management interface. Internal only happens inside the EVE-NG install. Private, I don't know. Sorry, don't know. Let's have a look, see if it explains what those are. Cloud 0, cloud 7. Connect your lab nodes to cloud 7. Your configured nodes will work like connected to the same switch. Cloud 7 network is used as an extended connector between nodes. Interesting. Cloud 1 can be bridged to your EVE second Ethernet port to achieve another connection, which is what we're going to do. It does say that, third Ethernet, fourth Ethernet, but maybe they're all bridged together. I don't know. Because why would it say Cloud 7 is used as an extender connector between nodes? Add 2 Cloud 7. Connect your lab nodes to Cloud 7. Your configured nodes will work like... You know what? We'll just experiment with it. But as it stands, PNet 0 will be the first, PNet 1 will be the second, and we're going to have two other interfaces to play with, PNet 2 and PNet 3. But the NUC only has 2 built-in ports, so I do have this USB to Ethernet adapter that we showed on yesterday's stream, and we'll plug that into the NUC and then use that to connect these systems together. So I'm still downloading the image there. Just checking the stream. It seems to be maybe. Oh, it still moving really slowly though. Ah, maybe I didn't show the screen. Oh my word! I did this yesterday. I think I should have done that. Let's do that again. Yeah, idiot. All right, look, this is the cookbook, the EVE-NG cookbook. I'll get better at this streaming thing, hopefully. PNet 0 obviously then is the first connected interface. That's the cable we plugged in. We're going to connect PNet 1, I think, to my switch. It's a Mikrotik switch, but it does have a layer 3 interface. So that'll be a bit of fun. We can configure that. In fact, let me see if I can get this drawing tablet to work, and then I can draw what I'm saying instead of rambling. Let me see what we can do with this. Applications. What have I got here? Ink to go. Let's try that one. Ink to go. Alright. Does this work? Alright. Let me see. I might have to share the desktop for this one. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's share the desktop. Let's get the mirroring. Oh. No, nothing's flipping working. Exit. Desktop. Get rid of that. That is weird. Yesterday it was like a mirror, but today, mirror. So I'm worried that that's not working properly. What is that? Properties. Display. That seems to be right. Weird that it's tiny like that. I'll wait for the stream to refresh on my laptop so I know what I'm looking at, but right now that looks a bit strange. So let me see if I can just pull that drawing thing out of it again. Let's do... Where the heck is it? I've got 2 drawing apps and one of them's like nails to use, but this one's a little bit easier if I can find it. Wow, can't find it. Alright, I guess we'll just have to spin up Omnigraffle. This might be a bit quicker. Ah, it does look really slow, really small on there. That's so strange. It's like it's minimized the screen. Scale, transform, reset. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Yep, thank you. That's very nice. Alright, so let's get rid of the inspection panel. Let's make this a bit bigger. Let's get rid of that. Okay. If I could find that flipping application now, we'd be rocking. Ah, no, that's not it. Voice memos, no. It's got a funny name, that's why it's hard to remember. It's not like pen or drawing or something. Kindle, Ink to Go. Ink to Go is one, but it's not the one I want. Demo Pro, that's the one. That's exactly the one. And I think that should be that. But I can't see it on the screen, which isn't helpful. Where is it? There it is. Okay, let me just see. So switch color Z, freehand S. Alright. Alright, hopefully you can see the screen. Let me have a go at this. Wires everywhere. Oh, nope. Maybe use this one. Nope. Yes, alright. And what is it to change the color? Okay, great, so we've got some red. Alright, so this is what we're trying to do. Let's draw this out. So we've got Mac Pro, and we've got the NUC, the new one that we did yesterday, and this is the bare metal, and this is also bare metal. It's not running OS X or anything. And then over here we've got, wow. Oh my word. What? Oh. It must have crashed. Let's do that again. What was it called? Demo Pro, right? Demo Pro. Alright, there we go. Let's do this again. Let's change that to black though. Black. Okay, black and green. Nice. Okay, here we go. Alright, great. So, Mac Pro, bare metal. And then we've got the NUC, which is also bare metal. And then I've got a third NUC, which is running ESXi. So on here we'll have a nested, so it'll be nested. Nested Eve. And on here we've got just bare metal Eve. And on here we've got bare metal Eve. Now, from the Mac Pro, we're going to have PNet 0, sorry, which is Ethernet 0. Ethernet 0. From the NUC we'll have also Ethernet 0. And from the ESXi we'll have Ethernet 0. All of these are fresh, apart from this guy. This guy I've had for a while, so he's got some old legacy config on him. Not proud of that. We're going to have to work on that probably over the next few days. So the bare metal Eve Pro will, all this is the management interface. Running on subnet 192.168.32 dot. What am I pressing? Why is this crashing all the time? It's like I'm pressing this board and it's clearing the screen. Maybe I'm pressing something on my pen. I'm sorry about this. It's like, you know, early days. Undo, erase all. Nope, so it's not that one. I'm not pressing that. You know what? I might just flip and draw this because it's doing my nutting. So let's draw some squares. Let's do that. Where's the colors thing? Inspection. All right. Let's draw some squares. Can I please draw some squares? Yes. I think the world's against me. There we go. So let's have that. Let's copy and paste that. Copy and paste that. Let's put some words in. So we're going to have Mac Pro. I'm going to change the font type. be white. Let's drag that on there. Alright, now we're getting there. No one delete it this time. So this one's the NUC, the one we did yesterday, and this is another NUC, the one that I did last week. So everything's really fresh. This is ESXi, and this is just Ubuntu 16.04, and so is this one. And let me see if I can make this happen without any arrows. No arrows, great. Let's see if we can connect these things up. So we're going to have one there. We're also going to have one to there. Keep that. Stop. No, stop. I don't want it to go through that. There we go. Alright, so it's going to be like that. And then we're going to have a switch. See if I've got a stencil for that. Let's have a look. Switch. Let's just put a normal switch in. So this is the Mikrotik switch that's down under the table. And we're going to also connect everybody to that. What the flipping flip? Stop. It's embarrassing. Okay, almost there. Alright, so it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. I'll just move this over there if I can. So stops it looking a bit naff. Alright, so this is going to be the management link. Let me just bring that to the front. Order to the front. I'm going to save this just in case anything bad happens. Like that. Just to annoy me. So this is going to be lab. Let's do that. Let's put some IPs on here so we know what we're doing. 168.32.0. This is the lab network subnet. That's the management network subnet. And then for these point-to-point links, these are going to be just trunk links. So 802.1 queue trunking on there and there. We might do Q and Q. Let's see how far we get. But basically, that's the topology. So we're going to spin up instances on all three and then see the reachability between them all. Now, it's not clustering, but actually I think it's more stable than clustering could ever be. With clustering, you've got, obviously, heartbeat communications and, what do you call it? What am I thinking of? Sugar, like a firewall. It's really early. Uh-oh. What am I thinking? I really can't remember the word. But anyway, the flows are all like known to each device, but the flow information is not passed to the other devices. So it doesn't matter that information isn't passed. It allows you to have these unique instances, and everything is self-contained, so it's much more stable. So I prefer to run it like that rather than having a cluster. Anyway, I think. The only issue for me would be the licensing, because you have to license each node for the professional edition, which is what I've done because I can. But if you're running the community edition, I'm not actually sure if that even works. I don't know, and apologies if that's the case. All right, the download for the Cisco image is taking a while. Let's carry on with the cabling and see how far we get. So I've got, let's cable up Ethernet 1. So Ethernet 0 is the management interface on the Mac Pro, and Ethernet 0 is the Mac interface, is the management interface, and the same on the NUC. And let's do, for Ethernet 1 on both devices, let's do, let's just do Ethernet 1 on the NUC as like an internet interface. So on here we'll have, can I have a cloud? Is there a cloud picture in here? Let me just do a cloud. Let's drop a cloud in here. So on here we'll say this is the internet, and what we'll do is connect this guy to the internet like that, and that will be on Ethernet 1. So let me just put that in there. So Eth1 is PNet 1, so that'll be Ethernet 1. Can I rotate that? This one's Ethernet 1, let's put that back. Sorry, Ethernet 0, so that's Ethernet 0. Let's get rid of that. So that's going to be Ethernet 2. Let's make them all match, and then it's less of a headache. Trying to remember what cable's connected to what. This one can be, this one can be Ethernet 1 then. And so can this one. And Ethernet 0. What's the deal? Strange. Must be a relative command. Alright, so there we go. So we'll have Ethernet 1 connecting the two here. We'll have Ethernet 2 connecting these ones here. Ethernet 1 from here connecting to the internet. Or, I'm double checking myself. Let's put that there. It might be a bit more, what am I thinking of? Intuitive. Let's set that back to horizontal. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, alright, let's do, no you can't, you should have done it, let's put that back. So Ethernet 2, and Ethernet 1 to there. Alright, let's do that. Now, the Mikrotik already has, or at least used to have, this internet connection in there. So let me just pull that up real quick. Let me save that. So that's what we're going to try and build, these 3 nodes. This one's going to be running like, this one's got 128 gig of RAM. So this one can run a lot of stuff. It's a 2013 Mac Pro. It's not the new one, obviously. So it's 2013. But it does run. It does allow me to run a lot of instances because of the RAM. This one's got 64. This one's got 64. All right. What other information? 12 core. This is a NUC, and this is an i7 4-core. And so is this. They're identical. What is that? It's a Xeon something, but I don't know. Anyway, there's only one version of that 12-core CPU for that box. So there we go. So that's the hardware design. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, cable this things up. So let me just save that. So let's cable up the Mac Pro and the NUC. No, let's cable up the NUC and get the internet bit working. That might be a good start. Yeah, we can test that. So let me just let me get rid of that. And let me drop that. Let's see where we are with this. Let's get on to the Mikrotik. This guy. Now then, IP addresses. Yeah, so it's one of these ones that I was going to use. Let's use this one. Let's enable that. So this is just a standard RFC. I think it's the net 2 documentation subnet. So we'll add that in. And then on the interfaces themselves, you have to basically pull this out of the bridge. So we need to choose an interface to pull out of the bridge. Let's choose one that's not running. So we'll choose Ethernet interface 8. We're going to call this, I don't know, NUC Ethernet 2. So let's apply that. Let's take it out of the bridge. So ports NUC E2. That's going to come out. Let's remove that from the bridge. And then the IP address here can be applied to the NUC E2 interface. All right. So let me just draw that up and show you what we did. So it's not running yet. So that's why it says it's not valid. Let me just get rid of that. Pull up the Omnigraffle again. Yikes. Close. Omnigraffle. What? Close all. There we go. So what we've done is configured the Mikrotik with that IP address. So when we're in this NUC, we'll be able to configure PNet1, which is the second Ethernet interface. Instead of using NAT, to be using bridge mode, and then we can have instances inside the EVE-NG cloud that can see the internet, because this guy will allow that route to go out. Now this might look like a public address. It's not. These are reserved addresses. Let me just Google that, because I can't remember if it's net 1 or net 2. So RFC documentation IP addresses. Yeah, that'll be fine. 5737, correct. Correct. It's amazing what you forget. 198. Let's find that. 198. So it's net 1. All right. So we're no, it is net 2. So net 2. 198.51.100.0/24 is used for test, so documentation purposes basically. You can use this one as well, or that one, but 192 reminds you of like private addressing, whereas 198 might not. So that's why I used 198 as like an internet pretend pseudo network. It works for me. It might not work for you. Maybe you want to carry on using private addressing. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. These are not routed, so you can't route these networks on the internet. They're just like your home network, your 172.16 or your 192. 168 or 10, whatever. They're just private networks that you shouldn't be routing anywhere. So yeah, let's patch that in. We're going to patch this cable in here, this Ether 2 to Ether 2. Let's get that done. Where's my cable? Where's my cable? I hope this one works. Some of these cables are pretty old and don't work very well. So that was 1. So this one might be 2. We don't know yet. Depends on how Mac OS does this internally. So I'm going to patch that in there. Let's drag this behind here. It's a rat's nest behind the computer, so I won't show you that. And it's going to P2. Now I don't have P2 yet. P2 is going to be this this new this new USB to Ethernet adapter. So we're gonna plug that in. First, let's put that in behind this mouse cable. So this should now be Ethernet 2 on the NUC, and then I'll patch that in, and you can see my rat's nest. But there you go. So there we go. That cable connects to the to the Mac Pro over the USB. Where to leave this? I don't know. Maybe that's too far away. I don't know. I don't know what to show for the better, to be honest. Okay, let's just leave it there on the showing the NUC. Okay, so that's cables patched in. So that's Ethernet 2 to Ethernet 2. No, that's fine. It's fine, but that's not what we were doing. We're doing Ethernet 1, all right? So let's do that too while we're here. Let's get another cable. Got a bunch, but some of them have a dubious heritage, so I'm not sure if they work or not. I'm just going to have to hope for the best. With all this COVID-19 and working from home, for a lot of things from the office, I didn't really check them. So that's Ethernet. So Ethernet 1 should be this interface. So let's pass that in. If the light comes on, it's a good start. The lights have come on, so that's a good start. So this is the management network. This is this new 198 testnet 2 subnet going to the internet, which isn't the internet, and then we have the USB Ethernet adapter, which is the point-to-point bridge to the Mac Pro. So that should all be nice now. That should all be nice and set up now. Yeah, move that out of the way. There we go. Blinking lights are always nice. All right. So as far as the NUC goes, I think we're all connected up. The Mac Pro has Ethernet 0, correct, and Ethernet 2 is connected to this guy. That's correct. That's probably as far as I want to go. We can potentially move and put the ETH 1 to the other NUC, but I've not configured this in any way, so this will be like really pushing it to try and get to achieve today. We might push this off until either tomorrow or some other time, because I haven't configured the ASXi network stack. It might be a little bit more complicated than I wanted to. So let's just carry on with the 2-node build for now. We'll just concentrate on these two here. So my images are still downloading. That's a shame. I do have some other images that we can probably pull up. In fact, I might even have the Cisco image that I'm getting off this ISO already on the Mac Pro. So I'm going to have a quick look for that, see if I can find that. Let me just drop this desktop share. Close that down, close that down, close that down. Let me just check on the Mac Pro what I've got. Get rid of this Wacom tablet. That was no good help whatsoever. Yes, okay, so I do have the latest Cisco images on the Mac Pro, so I'm just going to quickly make a copy of these text files. And I may need to relicense this thing anyway, because I potentially used it in yesterday's new build. That's those. What else can I take? Let me think. That's probably fine. All right, so on the ISO, you get these two images, 2019 0423 for a layer 2 iOS image, and you get 15.8 for the layer 3 image. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy these two off this ISO. If you remember, we're downloading the ISO from Cisco. So you buy CML, and you can install the whole thing. You can run CML2, and you know that's fine. But I'm led to believe, and I could be wrong, and I'm happy to not do this if it's not right. But I'm led to believe if you buy this product and you don't change the image, then you can use this image for your own personal use. So let's go under that assumption. But I'm not an official spokesperson for Cisco, and I just want to be clear. I don't know the legality of what this looks like. I bought the product, I'm downloading the ISO, and I'm taking this image off the ISO. Where was I? Oh yeah. So let's copy these. Let's copy these over to the new install. Let's copy this one first. I'm just going to do a secure copy. So SCP this image to, where are we? 192.168.32.26, and we'll put it in the same place. So it's opt unit lab add-ons keymu. We'll just stick it there for now, and then we'll create the folder after. Yeah, actually no, if I'd copy, I wonder if I copy the, yeah, let's copy the whole directory and do a recursive copy, and then it'll take the file with it. I don't need to then create the directory. So let's do that. Root at 192.168.32.26 colon, oh wait, yeah, idiot, minus R root at, let's see how that works, Eve. Okay, let's copy that one. And what was the other one called? Let me get the text file up. This one. Alright, so on the new NUC now, if we go under opt unit lab add-ons keymu, there should be two folders, which there are, which contains the L2 and L3 Cisco image. And I always forget the command, so I'm just going to quickly history and grep for fixed permissions, and it's this one. So you have to run this command when you add any new images to Eve. That done, then you can go to the Eve itself, and if it worked right, you should be able to see those images in the config. What is going on? Okay, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that at all. Let's do it in Google. Let's do it in Chrome. Safari was doing some sort of spaz out there. .168.32.26. Yikes. Doesn't like that at all. Something wrong? Something wrong, little NUC? Huh. Let's try HTTPS. Did I do something? Let's try it in Safari again. Now it looks like Chrome's died there. Let's try this again. 192.168.32.26. Nope, that does not seem to work. I don't think I need to do a reboot. It's clearly something wrong with my browser, but I'll do a reboot anyway. Why not? Doesn't take long. So when that comes back up, we'll try and connect to it again with the browser. happened there? Yesterday it was fine, today's not fine. There we go. Okay, let's pull that back up. And reconnect. And no reconnect. So now we have a problem because my NUC's dead again. This is horrendous. Why does everything happen to me? Oh my goodness. Everything was going so well. Weird. Unless it's just still booting. It is making some noise. It may have just been booting. Let's just see. It's really making a lot of noise now. Not sure why. Okay, connection refused is good. There we go. Alright, great. It may, you know, I may still have a problem with this NUC after all that trouble from yesterday. I don't know. So let's connect to 26 now if we can. Which we cannot. This is not great. This is not great. There's me singing the praises yesterday, and it doesn't seem like good things are happening today at all. I don't really want to cancel stuff. Let me stop that download. Let me clear. Let me close Safari. Maybe Safari's having a bad day. Let's try and connect to that again. 32.26. Ah, okay. All right, I wasn't sharing it, but basically. Safari, which still is not showing the right thing. Maybe I've got multiple versions of Safari running? No? Weird, why is it showing that old Safari screen? That is really bizarre. Safari, where are you? There we go. Alright. So I basically closed Safari, reopened it, and now we're back here again, which is good. So let's log in. Those images, those Cisco images should be here now. So if I add a node, for example, you can see I've got the iOS router and switch, and those are from those two images we copied over before. So we've got this, let's go back to the, in fact I'll share my desktop instead so that everything happens. I don't forget what I'm doing. We've got the Mac Pro, and we've got the NUC, and they're connected with this ETH2. And what I want to just make sure is, first of all, no, let's not do that one. Let's do the internet first. So we want to make sure that ETH1 can see this 100.1. So we should be able to create a, first of all, let's put a router on the desktop. Let's spin it up. Let's configure an IP address on it. Let's connect it to cloud 1 and see if we can ping 100.1. That should be how that works out. Let's go to Safari. And I'll add a node, just a router. Only got one. Let's save that. Let's create a network, which is going to be Cloud 1. And Cloud 1 should be the internet. So let's call it that. Internet. In fact, no, I'll call it, yeah, internet. Let's do that. Alright, so that's the internet. And there's my router. I'm going to connect it like that. And let's start that up. So again, what we're trying to do is just get this router online and see if we can ping the Mikrotik, which is sat behind that internet cloud there, and then that'll prove out the iNet, the Ethernet 1 connection coming out the back of the NUC. What we could do is add a little bit of little bit of stuff. Net. Let's do that. So you can mess around a little bit. Actually, I don't think this is as functional as Eve, as GNS3's interface, but you can create some great topologies, and I've seen some great topologies. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. Like, what's his name? iNet0, or yeah, maybe iNet0. I've seen some of his stuff, and he's doing great work, really great work. So 198, what was the subnet? 198. 198.51.100. 198.51.100.0/30. So that's going to be there. And let's just put some more text just to show us that this one's going to be .1. X. And the router is going to be .2. Router. The router is going to be .2. That's all we're trying to do. Just now, that's it. Just to prove that this, say the ETH1. This is ETH1. Just to prove that this ETH1 connection is as it should be. Look at that, bad me doing layer 2 and layer 3 on the same diagram. Not cool, but what to do? So that should be booted. No, I don't want any config. Okay, cool beans. Let's go in here. Gig 00, I think. And we'll give it an IP address 198.51.100.2. And we'll do a no shut. And then hopefully we can ping 198.51.100.1, which should be the Mikrotik. And we can. And there's the MAC address of the Mikrotik over the gig 00. All right, so that's one part done. The next part will be configuring the next cloud. So we'll do another network, and we'll call this one cloud 2. And this is going to be the point-to-point. So this one's going to go to the MAC. And we're going to connect that. Let's connect that to the gig 0. Let's do another shape, because why not? Okay. And I think what we'll do, see if I can tidy this up a little bit. So this one's like that, kind of. Not super tight. Oh, I can do it like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, let's do it like that. So we've got like that. .2, .1. I might drop that. And let's have again. They will do the same thing. We'll have .2 stop, please stop, and .1, but this time it'll be an internal network, like an RFC 1918. That's the one everyone remembers, including me. Stop, really annoying. So let's have 192.168.1.0/24. Keep it consistent, why not? But this one's going to go to this one goes to the MAC. So if you can imagine behind behind that point-to-point cloud, there's going to be it really represents just the physical link between this NUC and the Mac Pro. And on the Mac Pro is going to be a similar reversed situation where there'll be a cloud coming in, and we're going to connect that to a router and spin up the same sort of thing, but we'll be able to ping hopefully from this router to the Mac. But let's edit this now, so we've got it done. So this is going to be, let's give it a name. Let's call it NUC router. And in gig 01, we'll have the IP address 192.168.1.1.2. We'll no shut that. 1.2, correct. All right. So now we'll have another tab on this, and I'll connect to the Mac Pro, which is here somewhere. I just want to check the license because I'm not sure if I reused it yesterday. I just really want to make sure that this flipping isn't conflicting with that. License information. I think this might be the same license, 0402. 0402, yeah, I think that's the same license. So I just need to quickly, and hopefully this won't stuff up, upload a new license. Bear with me while I just disable the share while I look this up. Oh, actually, they might not be the same. Huh. All right, we might be okay. We might be okay. I'll just copy and paste this one anyway. So I think the one that I copied yesterday probably is fine, but I'll just put this in anyway. It should still all be good. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so this one's licensed as well. What I'm going to do, that one's running, is it? Let's drop a new lab in here. This is going to be the NUC lab. So just like the other one, going to configure a node. Cisco router, same image type. Save that, and we're going to have a cloud, which is hopefully cloud 2, but we don't know because these FireWire interfaces may or may not be correct, so we'll have to swap that over. But anyway, cloud 2 should be Ethernet 2, and this should be 2. Wait, was it 1 or 2? One was the internet, yeah, 2. So this should be the point-to-point. So this will be the same, and we're going to connect that to the router, and I'll just for consistency connect it to the same interface as the other side. So what we've got is over here. That one's running, I think. Yeah, so let's just open that. So here we've got this gig 01 with this subnet connected to this cloud, and then this cloud's a physical link to the other EVE-NG, which is this. Let's start that node, and while that's doing that, let's add a bit of text. The 1.0/24, and text. So this is .1. Whoops. Please. .1. Okay. All right. So that should be booting. So yeah, this is demonstrating they're physically isolated boxes, but you're connecting them together with physical cables. They're not logical constructs. They're not within the EVE-NG, and it's doing something clever like GNS3 clustering. It's not doing that. And I remember doing something similar with Dynamips, like, you know, what, 15 years ago. Yeah, something like that. And you could have multiple instances of Dynamips running, and you could connect them with under one like cluster. So I'm familiar with the technique, but in personally speaking, I think this is much more stable and conducive to learning. Like if you're using this logical cluster construct, then that's great. It all works, I'm quite sure. But having separate machines means I can allocate resources per machine, and I can connect them up physically to different things, and it just gives me that like happy feeling that I'm doing some actual networking rather than keeping everything in a logical brain of some machine. So this one, we're going to give it the name MAC router. The other one was NUC router. And we're going to gig 01, and we'll give it the IP address 192.168.30.1/30. We'll do a no shut. And can we ping 192.168.1.2, which was the router in the NUC? Hopefully yes. If not, then we'll just swap the cable. I probably got it the wrong way around. Because remember, this this Mac Pro, if I've got my camera right, let me just check I've got that set right. Yeah. So this Mac Pro's got two. Let me drop this desktop share. Bring that one up. Yeah, that's better. So this Mac Pro's got these two interfaces here. So I'm guessing I've plugged the wrong one in, or the cable's broken, one or the other. If the cable was broken, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know the validity, and I haven't brought my cable tester, so I don't know. Let's check that one out. Let's see if that one pings now. Safari. All right, let's see now. Does it kind of ping now? Oh, I still can't ping. Well, that's not great at all. Sugar lumps. Let's just go in to the Mac Pro itself, and we'll do an IP address and see if the interface is up. Where were we? So PNet 2 is up. It's only showing two Ethernet interfaces, and that's not what I want to see at all. Ethernet 2 and 3. So 2 has no carrier, 3 is up. So I was right, Ethernet 2 should be this interface. That is good. Let me just check that again. So we should be up now. We are up. So Ethernet 2 is up. So why didn't that ping work then? Let's have a look in here. Let's do the same thing. IP address, grep Ethernet 2. It's up. Well, that's good too. So they're both up. Where's the Safari browser? Oh, sorry, I wasn't showing what I was doing there. Let me just close that down. All right. So this, I was just on ZOC, and on the NUC, I just did a quick IP address and grep for Ethernet 2 just to show that it was up, and the state was up. And PNet 2, which is Cloud 2, and the same on the Mac Pro, where the state is up. That just to show those interfaces are up. That's all basically. Let's go back to Safari. This should be pinging, unless I've fat fingered an IP or fat fingered a cloud name. Where were we? 32.20. Let's just go back into here. So this should be fine. This cloud is 2, correct? Did I get the IP wrong? IP int brief. Nope. And it is up. What about this guy? Well, that is a kick in the bum. Can I ping myself? I can. All right, this might be a cable problem. It does show it's up, so it could be a physical problem. I'm just going to swap the cable, this between these two ports. Let's see what happens. Okay, and now I've lost my access. Oh, there we go. That was not cool that it went offline just now, and that shouldn't have gone offline. And I still can't ping, so it's not the cable. Ah, okay. I think I know what this is. So one of the features of this solution is that when you spin up the router, the first router gets a MAC address created from its ID. So you can see the MAC address is 5000.000.1.0.0.1, and probably, and we'll just show that out here. If I do a show up, we'll have the same MAC address on this guy, and that's why it can't see the other guy. So what we need to do is just change the MAC address on the interface. So let's do that. Let's call this one, let's call this one 5000.0.0.1.0.0.10. And then hopefully now we can ping the other guy. And there we go. All right. So yeah, that's one. That is one thing to think about. And I guess in a cluster you wouldn't have that issue. So what I tend to do, or what I have done, is if you can create, I think if you create the node, but you give it a different like number, let's have a router. So number of nodes. Okay, so we can do that. We can give it a MAC address in here. So let's say 5000.0.0.1.0.0.1, and then it will build it from there. You can set the MAC address, and there won't be any conflict. So yeah, you can do that. All right, so we've got pretty far. Let's have a look at where we are on time. So that's more than an hour. And a lot of faffing again, just like yesterday. I quite like the format of this stream thing, but there's a lot of to and fro and up and down and wasting time. I'm sorry about that, but we get there in the end, I guess. Let me just share my desktop. So here we are with the diagram. So far today we've managed to get this NUC connected to this Mac Pro, connected to the internet, and we've got a router running in here, a router running in here, and everything seems to be working just fine. I think either later on today, probably, maybe, we can spin up this other NUC and get these three talking together, and see how far we can make that move. All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time, patience. I think we've got a lot done.